Eat a freaking muffin. Hey guys, what is up? My name is Ashley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about something that I think might be pretty relevant to quite a few of you right now. You know, summer's coming up. We all want to get lean, look good, by the pool, at the beach, all that. So we're gonna talk about cardio. I know, I don't like cardio either, but we're gonna go over pros and cons of each type of cardio so you can pick which one is gonna be best for you. First, I just wanna talk about in general, cardio as a whole. A lot of people totally disagree with doing cardio. I, in the past, have been one of those people. Not necessarily because I think it is bad for you, but because I'm lazy. Cardio in general is good for you. I know some people for a while are like saying, oh, cardio kills your gains, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how much validity there is to that statement. So, pros of cardio in general. If you have better cardiovascular health, cardiovascular fitness, whatever you want to call it, your chances of a heart attack, a stroke, diabetes, any like heart-related disease are greatly reduced, which is very important. I am a cardiac nurse. Trust me, you do not want to end up in the hospital with some type of heart disease. It sucks. Not fun. People are not doing well. You don't want to be there. It also lowers your cholesterol, which is good because that is one of the things that could cause heart disease, you know, clog up your arteries. You don't want that. It also lowers your resting heart rate. It lowers your blood pressure. So it's really good for your heart in general. That's definitely a huge plus because heart disease is like a huge killer. It's a real bummer. Also, cardio can help with your mental health. It can make you feel better. It can help you fight off that depression you got going on or help with some anxiety. So that's definitely a plus as well. The most relevant reason for me, I think, and Sam Sulek has been saying this, he says if you're not doing cardio, you're leaving gains on the table. Doing cardio does improve your blood flow, which means your blood can deliver more nutrients and oxygen to your muscles. Therefore, they're gonna recover way better. And if you know anything about building muscle, your recovery is so important, and so many people neglect that aspect, and that is why they don't get big. So that's a huge plus. Yeah. Cons. It's time consuming. If you don't want to do it like right before or after your lift, it can be hard to get yourself back to the gym. Just in general, if you already are committing a lot of time to the gym, it can be hard to put aside another 20 minutes to go run or walk on the treadmill, whatever you're gonna do. It's time consuming. It's very uncomfortable. I know like if you're doing slow, steady state cardio, like walking, it's probably not gonna be that uncomfortable, but for the most part, if you're pushing yourself on your cardio, it's uncomfortable. You're gonna be sweaty, you're gonna be out of breath. It's hard. I struggle a lot. I personally have asthma and I'm not fit in the cardio world, so it's very hard for me to do cardio. I struggle. It's not a pretty sight. I know some people will be like, oh, well, I can't do cardio, I'm bulking. Well, unless you're like some elite runner who is doing like 10, 20 miles a day, you're probably not gonna burn that many calories. I think in a mile on average, it depends on the person, but like I burn around 100 calories every mile I run. I'm probably not gonna run more than 3 miles ever in my life. So it's 300 calories. If you're bulking, eat a freaking muffin. You know, like you're fine. I say that as I have not done cardio in so long, but that is besides the point. I'm gonna start. I guess also another con would be it can interfere with your lifts. If you're doing some type of cardio that makes you sore, then you're supposed to do legs the next day. You can't because your quads are sore, your knees hurt, or your back hurts. You know, whatever it is, it can interfere with your lifts, which also at times when I do want to do cardio, that is always in the back of my mind because I know the first few times I do it, my legs are going to be sore and I don't want them to be sore for a leg day. So I use that as an excuse. All right, so let's get into the different types of cardio. First up, we have probably one of the most common forms of cardio, running. I'd say the first pro of running is it burns calories relatively fast, faster than if you were to walk. If you walk a mile and you run a mile, you're going to burn relatively the same amount of calories. However, it's gonna happen way faster if you run. So less time consuming, it's more effective. No, more efficient, a more efficient way of burning calories. It's weight bearing, you're gonna increase your bone density if you run, which is good because then you have less chance of getting like osteoporosis, breaking bones. Another thing for running that would be a plus for me is it's gonna engage your calves. And if you have a really poor calf game like I do, you need everything you can get. You'll take it all. So it's gonna help with your calves. You see some runners, I mean, not everyone that runs has big calves, but some of them have some beefy boys down there, which is what I'm trying to be. Also, I'll go show you what you can bring on a run with you. Come here. Oh, hi. Oh, do you want to be on camera? She hates being up on her back paws. Come here. Do you want to be on camera? You can bring your... Stevie. Steve. Okay, this is not working. You're a fit dog. You're in shape. Steve, stop being such a baby. Look at the camera. You can bring your fit dog. Steven, why are you such a baby? I was gonna try to show you how you bring your fit dog, and this is my fit dog, but she also happens to be a big old baby. Stevie. Oh, big girl. Stevie likes hikes. Stevie likes runs. Huh. That was a fail. But pretty much what I was saying is if you run, you can bring your dog as long as they are fit and in shape, which that's the dog I would bring. She really does not like to be picked up. That was crazy. Also, I'm allergic to my dogs, so I'm like itchy now. That's great. Cons of running. The barrier to entry is a little higher. Not everybody can run. If you are less in shape, you're a little bit bigger, running is probably not gonna be something you can just jump into. You might have to walk first or like speed walk. I'd say another con to running is the injuries. I don't know if any of you have ever had shin splints. Those are the worst. I'm pretty sure that is the most painful thing in the world. Not actually, but shin splints, terrible. You can also have a lot of problems with your IT band. That's pretty much, it's in your knee and it rubs against your femur and it gets inflamed and it causes really bad knee pain. I've had that, I've had shin splints, and then also, sorry, I'm like all itchy now because of my freaking dog. You can get tendonitis in your Achilles tendon. So like the back of your ankle, it connects your calf muscle to your heel. That hurts so bad. It feels like every time you take a step, it's like ripping off. Not great. So definitely lots of injuries / inflammation issues with running. It's hard on your knees, it's hard on your joints. It's a little rough on the body. Also, I feel like a con is, at least if you're running outside, it's hard to maintain a speed. You have to be able to pace yourself. If you're on a treadmill, obviously you can set it to a speed and just go with it. But if you're outside, you have to be able to kind of keep yourself steady. I literally suck at that. I suck at it. I don't know about you guys, but not good. So running overall, it's not bad. Definitely not my cup of tea. Let's move on. Next one, outdoor biking. Bruh. You know who you are. And when I'm driving, I hate you. Okay, pros, this is a low impact form of cardio. You're not like beating on your knees every step you take, so that is good. This isn't relative to me, but I did find while doing some research that people who have osteoarthritis often find that biking reduces their hip pain. So if you have osteoarthritis, perhaps you should take up outdoor biking. I feel like the barrier to entry is pretty low. As long as you know how to ride a bike, which most people do. Once you learn it, you never forget, you know? Sorry if you don't know how to ride a bike and I'm being ignorant. I feel like most people can ride a bike. So as long as you have a bike, it's pretty easy to do. Another thing, I feel like a lot of professional bikers have like juicy quads. I'm talking like horse legs. So that's a pro too. Okay, cons. I'm laughing because I feel like my list for this is a little longer than the other ones. Getting hit by a car. You're in the road, you have to follow the rules of the road. However, a lot of people don't. It's fine. I don't have any strong opinions about this topic. Yeah, getting hit by a car. You have to buy a bike if you don't have one. And some bikes are cheap, but if you want a nice bike, they can be pretty pricey. But I mean, I bought one at like Dick's Sporting Goods for like 300 bucks. It was fine. It worked. It was like a little mountain bike type of deal. I bought it for mountain biking, not road biking, just to be clear. More cons. I read online that a lot of people get back pain because when you're biking, you're like, hunched over, your posture's not good, so you get a lot of back pain. You can get carpal tunnel, which is pretty much a nerve that's in your wrist into your hands, and that gets compressed and it gives you like numbness and tingling in your hands, which is obviously not optimal. Another thing is patellofemoral syndrome. Say that 3 times fast. Patellofemoral syndrome, patellofemoral syndrome, patellofemoral syndrome. I guess I kind of did it. I kind of stumbled. This is also known as cyclist knee. This is often caused by chondromalacia patella, which is the softening and breakdown of the cartilage around your knee, which your cartilage doesn't have nerves, but when your cartilage breaks down, then your bones are just grinding on each other. So knee pain, pretty much. You can have knee pain from biking, even though it's low impact. Another con for this is because it's low impact, you're not going to increase your bone density very much, which, you know, we don't want to break those bones, so that's important. Also, you kind of look like a dweeb with those helmets on. They're important because you don't want to die if you fall or get hit by a car, but you look like a dweeb. I wear a helmet when I bike, I do, but I also think I look like a dweeb. And you get like sweaty under there and it's kind of gross. And if you have an itch, oh, so frustrating. But that is pretty much, oh, well, also, what was I gonna say? Oh, If you're riding outside, it can be harder to maintain a speed. You gotta be able to hold yourself to a certain speed, because otherwise you might go slower, you're not gonna burn as many calories as fast. Okay, moving on. Next on the list is indoor recumbent bicycle. I didn't know there was outdoor recumbent bicycles until I did this research. I didn't include that though, because I feel like it's not very common. I have like hives on my leg from my dog. Anyways, this form of biking has a more ergonomic design. The seats are typically bigger and you're more upright. You're not putting a bunch of pressure on your wrists and hunching your back. So none of those issues like with outdoor biking. This is also low impact, so it is going to be easier on your joints than say running. It's definitely less dangerous than biking outside. If you're biking on your recumbent bicycle, indoor machine, chances of you getting hit by a car are slim to none. Also, I feel like a pro is, this kind of feels less like cardio. This is what Sam Sulek does, so I did it a couple times when I had like free time at the gym. And granted, I wasn't pushing myself enough, but I just sat there and watched TikToks and like biked for a little while. And it wasn't bad. I definitely was not very efficient in the burning calories world, but it does feel less like cardio. You're not like moving, you're just moving your legs and you're sitting on a comfy seat. That's a plus. Cons. You're gonna have limited muscle engagement with this. You're not gonna be using your core. There's a back on the seat. You're not using your upper body. You're not doing anything. The only thing you're using is your lower body, which if that's all you want, that's fine. Maybe it's not a con for you. Another con, this is kind of a personal con, but I feel like maybe other people can relate. I can never, ever, ever feel like I'm in the right position. It always feels like I'm too far back from the pedals or I'm too far up and I'm cramped. Maybe I'm a weird height, but I've tried multiple different bikes at different gyms and I never can figure it out. Another con for this is, again, it's really not gonna increase your bone density. You're not putting like a lot of weight. It's not weight bearing. Also, even I realized I said this for outdoor biking, that it's hard to maintain a certain speed. Even for indoor biking, really, you are still controlling how fast you move your legs. So that's a con too. You still have to like maintain your own speed. It's not set for you. I don't mind this, but when I'm actually trying to like burn calories, this is not gonna be my go-to. I'm excited for this one. The stair climber. It's the bootylicious way of doing cardio. This one's kind of, it's pretty low impact, but you're still weight bearing. So those are both pros because you're gonna increase your bone density. Not quite as much as if you're like running, but it is still weight bearing, but it's low impact. So you're probably not gonna get quite as much knee pain and soreness on your joints from this activity. Another pro is it engages your glutes a lot. I'm not saying if you do the stair climber, you're gonna grow a freaking dump truck of a booty, but it's not gonna hurt. It's the same thing as like runners have more quads than someone that does nothing. You know what I mean? If you do the stair climber, you're probably gonna have a little more booty than someone that does nothing. This engages your core. I don't know if you guys have ever done the stair climber. That engages your core because like you're holding yourself up. I don't know. It does though. Just take my word for it. If you're pushing enough at least. If you are one of the people that like leans over and uses the rails, I guess it kind of engages your upper body, but I don't think it's meant to engage your upper body. So scratch that. I feel like another pro to this, and this is kind of in comparison to say like running, is you can push yourself harder without moving as fast. Because obviously going up is harder than going just on something that's flat. So I don't have to run on a stair climber to hit my calories and to like get a sweat on, you know what I mean? So that's definitely a plus because like I'm not a fan of like the movement, the fast movement. So I like the stair climber for that reason. Also, it's very efficient at burning calories. I know that like the watch is not necessarily accurate. However, I do use it as a tool to compare. I'll compare 10 minutes on the stair climber to 10 minutes on the treadmill. I think it's pretty accurate in that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Cons. This is not as accessible. Not every gym has it. You can't just do this outside. I feel like a lot of gyms do, like Planet Fitness has it. So, you know, hotel gyms typically don't have it. Another con is this will make you sore. Maybe not once you've done it a couple times, but that first time you're gonna be freaking feeling it the next day. Your butt, quads, your hamstrings, your calves. I feel like everything hurts after you do the stair climber. Especially if you do like double steps, which only the pros do those, but also I feel like another con to this is it's a little bit intimidating / less user-friendly. You have to be kind of coordinated and stick with the pace or else you're gonna like trip and fall, and you don't wanna fall off the stair climber in the gym. That would just be
painful and embarrassing. I guess another con is you could still get some knee pain from this. I did some research and you can get the chondromalacia patella, which is the breakdown of the cartilage around your knee. I don't think it's gonna be as common with this as it is running because it's lower impact, but it is still possible. So watch out for that, don't overdo it. Next up, the elliptical. I feel like these are the old person form of cardio. It's always like, not old, but like the middle-aged. It's always, no, it's middle-aged and old. It's always like the old guys and the old ladies or the middle-agers that are on these things. And they do it for like an hour. And they're so skinny, but like, I don't know how you do that. Pros, it's low impact. That's probably why you got all these old folk doing it. They don't want their joints to hurt. They can't run anymore. It does engage your upper body. You got the, you know? You can choose how much you put into this part. So you can put it mostly on your legs or you can put a lot in your arms. So it's lower impact, it's less stress on your joints, less stress on your body. So that's good, especially if you're either old or maybe if you have an injury or you're prone to bad knees or something, this could probably be a good form of cardio for you. Cons of this. Since it's low impact and non-weight bearing, you're not going to increase your bone density. And I would say that is something that's pretty important for the old folk, especially the old women. Your chances of getting osteoporosis are much higher. You really, really, really want to keep your bone density up. You want to keep your bones strong, especially if you want to lift weights. You can't lift weights with freaking broken legs. Remember that. Also with this, there's no set speed. You got to do it yourself. I'm bringing that up a lot. Maybe that's not a con for most people, but I'm pretty bad at maintaining speeds. So it's definitely a con for me. Also with this, you can still get some knee pain and tendonitis. Not as common, but you still can. If you got sensitive knees, if you're not warmed up, if you're overdoing it, you're gonna feel some pain somewhere. Next up on the list, we have walking. I feel like this is a pretty underrated form of cardio. It's low impact. You're less likely to have sore knees, sore ankles, tendonitis, shin splints, all that. Walking is very accessible. You can do it literally anywhere, even if it's like so stormy and wet out. If you're that dedicated, you can walk laps around your apartment. I know people that have done it. No excuses. Just kidding. I got plenty of excuses. And pretty much anyone can do it. Obviously, if you don't have legs or something, or if your leg is like broken, maybe you can't. The average functioning human, you can walk because you do it every day. Just push yourself to do it a little bit more, a little bit further, maybe a little bit faster than you do in your day-to-day life. Another pro to walking is you can bring, you know how with running I said you can bring your fit doggy? Well, with walking, you can bring, come here. You can bring your fat doggy. Say, we don't like to go on runs, but we like to walk. I like to walk. Let's look at him. Oh, jeez. Hi, Stinky. Oh, jeez. Oh. He's a big boy. He's a chunky pug. Yeah, so you can even take your fat pug on a walk with you and make it more entertaining. Okay, sorry, pal. Oh. He's like, Mom, what the heck? You called me in here and now you're putting me down? You called me in here and now you're putting me down? Sorry, another pro for walking is you can do it with friends. You can run with friends, but I feel like it's a lot easier to like socialize and talk. Sorry, this pug is distracting me. He's hurting my legs. Lay down. He doesn't want to lay. He wants to sit with his little sharp claws right in my lap. It's a lot easier to socialize and talk while you're walking than it is while you're running. That's what I was trying to spit out like a gazillion times. I know they say if you're gonna run, you should run at a pace that you can carry a conversation with someone, but I literally would have to walk if I want to do that. I cannot talk while I run because I'm out of shape. So if running is hard for you and you want to do a social cardio, you can walk. If you want to make it harder, you can walk up hills, you can walk faster. Cons, it's gonna take you longer to burn the calories. Like I said, you walk a mile, you run a mile, there's no difference. It's just gonna take longer. Although it's weight bearing, it's way less impact, so you're not gonna increase your bone density as much as if you were to go on a run. Which again, yeah, like a lot of cardio machines, they're taking that away from you. Just keep that in mind. When you do cardio, there's other benefits besides just like the cardiovascular fitness and weight loss. Longevity, you want to have strong bones. Last but certainly not least, and this is one of my favorites, is hiking. Pros of hiking, you can engage you can engage your glutes, everything, kind of like a stair climber, especially if you're hiking up steeper things. You're literally gonna be sore. Your muscles will be sore the next day. Again, it's not gonna be as efficient as doing some squats, but it's definitely gonna work those muscles. It's pretty, you're out in nature, it's peaceful, it's relaxing, it's good for the soul. You can become one with nature.
Also, I feel like hiking kind of distracts you from the fact that you're doing cardio and makes it go by faster. It's more fun. You don't really think about the fact like, oh, I'm doing this to burn calories, lose weight, whatever it is. So that's definitely a plus. I'm not gonna grab them again because they were both menaces when I tried to do it, but you can bring your dogs with you most of the time, as long as it's not super dangerous and they're allowed on the trail. Bring your babies. When I say babies, I mean dogs. I don't have kids, so they are my babies. Bring your little puppers. They would love it. They'll appreciate it. Cons of hiking: 1, it's less accessible unless you live in a national park or on a mountain. Well, I guess there's flat hikes, but when I say hiking, I typically mean like, you know, up elevation. Because if not, that's just a walk in nature, you know what I mean? Don't come for me, sorry, but when people say they hike and they just do like walks in the woods that are flat, I don't consider it hiking as much. I might be wrong, but when I say hiking, I mean you're going up a mountain or you're going up a big hill. So less accessible. 2, there are hazards. There's bugs, there is snakes, animals. Well, snakes are animals, but snakes are a big fear of mine. I just moved to California recently and rattlesnakes are a thing here, which is terrifying. So there's snakes, there's like roots you could trip over, you could fall down the mountain. Not very common. I've done some of the most dangerous I have done the most dangerous hikes in New England. I've never fallen off the mountain and I am clumsy as heck, but still it is a possibility. So I'm gonna include it. And then also, you're more prone to some injuries probably. Like I said with the roots, you're more prone to twisting an ankle or falling and hurting your knees. Cameraman, every single time we go on a hike, he twists his ankle. Not like bad, but it's like an ongoing thing that whenever we hike, he twists his ankle within the first like 10 minutes. One more con, I didn't think of this until right now, with hiking is the way back down can be rough on the knees. Because you're like, if it's steep, you're like kind of pounding down and that kind of hurts your knees a little bit. If you're going on like a real rigorous, like steep hike, you're probably gonna feel it the next day a little bit in your joints. So it's not like super low impact, but it's not quite the same as running. Overall, my favorite forms of cardio are stair climber and hiking. However, my apartment complex has a little mini gym and I think it has bike, treadmill, and elliptical. I'll probably use the elliptical and the treadmill a little bit. If I'm at the gym, I'll use the stair climber, and if I have time, obviously, I'm gonna go on a hike. I love hiking. If you look on my Instagram, there's a phase. Right now, I've been a little busier because I work more than I used to, but if you look on my Instagram, when I had more free time, I was hiking like twice a week, literally all the time, like big hikes too, not just little casual ones. That was my jam. I love hiking. If you are in New England, you should Mount Washington, Huntington Ravine up Mount Washington. So fun. You need to be experienced though. If you're not, there's other ways up that are very fun. It's worth it. And then you're gonna get to the top and there's people that rode a train up and you're just gonna be like, oh, we're not the same. I'm better than them. Also, Acadia National Park, beautiful. Precipice Trail, super fun. It's like I'd say it's the diciest one in Acadia. You're kind of like, you're climbing ladders up a cliffside. So at some points, if you fell, you'd probably be a goner. Not many people fall. That's very fun. Cathedral up Katahdin, also very fun, kind of scary at certain points, but worth it. Those are all on, I don't think I posted Cathedral. The other 2 are on my Instagram. You should check it out. Super fun. I looked like a dork in my hiking stuff, but it was a good time. But yeah, those are my go-tos. I also do love like going to the park and walking my dogs, but I don't ever count that as my cardio. I count that towards my steps for the day if I'm like tracking that, but I don't really count that as cardio. I guess back when I lived in Maine, I used to go on walks after work and like I walked with a purpose. So I'd walk like 3 miles and I'd walk like speedy. So that would count. But when I walk my dogs, I have the pug, he walks so slow and I can't go very far either because he gets really hot and out of breath and just will lay down and stop walking. So walking the dogs doesn't really count. It is fun though, and it's still good for you. I hope this was helpful. I personally have not been a huge cardio person. I am cutting. This is my day 3 of the cut. So I am gonna start introducing some cardio. Nothing crazy, probably 20 minutes a couple times a week whenever I get around to it. I wanna get skinnier, obviously, but also I would like to be able to like run a mile without dying. I focus a lot on building muscle and lifting, which we did talk about. This can help with that. Also, I would just like to be more fit in the cardio world. You know, like overall, I would like to be more well-rounded. I can be strong and I can also run and I can also hike a mountain without crumpling over and dying because I can't breathe. I feel like that is definitely lacking. And I think it's the case for a lot of gym goers nowadays because it's like a thing. Everyone skips cardio, everyone lifts weights. According to Mr. Sam Sulek, you're leaving gains on the table. I hope this was helpful. I hope maybe I encouraged you to start doing some cardio or helped you decide what cardio you're gonna do. I am gonna start, you can start with me. We can do this together. It's gonna be hard and uncomfortable, but we can do it. And it's gonna be good for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am gonna go work out after this. I'm gonna go eat turkey and rice, and then I'm gonna go work out, back and arms. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you do cardio, if you're gonna do cardio, what your plans are, what you're gonna do. Maybe if you like to hike and you live in California, let me know some cool hikes. Central Valley. I live in the Central Valley. I don't want to drive 5 hours to go to a hike. If you know some hikes somewhere around here, that'd be super cool. I would love to try them out. I could record them. Maybe record it a little better than my last hiking video. That wasn't the smoothest, but it's a learning curve. But anyways, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.